Tommy pulls toilet paper off the roll, creating a large pile on the bathroom floor. Dee Dee catches Tommy and gently scolds him as she brings him back to the playpen. Almost immediately after setting him down, the doorbell rings and Dee Dee goes to answer it. It's Chaz, with Chuckie in one arm and a training potty in the other. Chaz is frustrated as he walks into the house, explaining that Chuckie is resisting potty training to the point where Chaz is worried it'll never happen. Dee Dee reassures Chaz that Chuckie will be potty trained eventually and promises to take good care of him while Chaz is away. Chuckie and the potty are sit down in the playpen, and Chaz bids goodbye to Chuckie, telling him to be good and to use the potty, as well as telling him to not eat earthworms, breathe toxic fumes, or drink radioactive waste. Tommy, Phil, and Lil are curious about the potty and wonder what it is. Chuckie, just as agonized as his father, explains that he's supposed to use the potty instead of my diaper. The other babies come up with suggestions of how to avoid using the potty, but Chuckie has already tried everything they say. Angelica walks over and makes fun of Chuckie due to his refusal to be potty trained, saying that it's because he's too afraid to go without diapers. Angelica then says the babies don't know anything because everybody who's anybody is potty trained. Chuckie insists that he just doesn't want to use the potty and declares, "Nobody's going to stop me. Not my mom, not my dad, not the President of the United States." However, Chuckie stops mid-sentence and starts to cry, saying that he has to go. Dee Dee hears Chuckie's crying and guessing correctly that he must feel like he needs to go right now, grabs Chuckie and rushes him to the bathroom while yelling for Stu to hurry after her. Stu grabs the potty and brings it to the bathroom after a nervous mix-up in which he sets the potty down in the hallway. Curious about what's going to happen next, the babies follow Chuckie and the adults to the bathroom, while Dee Dee and Stu rush to get everything ready. Everything is set up and Chuckie is seated on the potty. Dee Dee and Stu consult the potty training book to find out what to do next. They find that they are to wait patiently for Chuckie to go and give him enough praise so he'll continue to use the potty. Hours pass as they watch Chuckie play cards, read, and finally fall asleep from boredom, while Chuckie continues to sit on the potty. Finally, Tommy, Phil, and Lil enter the bathroom and ask Chuckie if everything's okay. Chuckie replies that he wishes everything could stay the same forever. Phil and Lil tell Chuckie that since grown-ups are so insistent about potty training, he ought to just go along with it. Chuckie tells the twins that they can go ahead and do that in themselves when it's their turn to be potty trained, but they deny that could happen. After that, Chuckie hops off the potty and says that he must not have to go after all, and then immediately pees on the bathroom floor. Dee Dee cleans the bathroom floor and talks to Stu. She doesn't understand how this accident could have happened, as Chuckie was standing right next to the potty. Stu says it's not a big deal, saying that a lot of kids weren't potty trained at 2. When Dee Dee asks who, Stu admits himself much to Dee Dee's astonishment. At the moment, Lou shows up and says that Stu wasn't potty trained until well after 2, much to Stu's embarrassment. Cutting back to the babies, Tommy admits potty training is a lot harder than it sounds. Phil will ask Chuckie how he knows when he needs to go, and what does it feel like. Chuckie responds that's the hardest part, explaining that when he thinks he has to go, he actually doesn't need to. When he doesn't think he needs to go, he really does need to go. Angelica, eavesdropping, decides that Chuckie needs a little help by doing the exact same thing as what her mother did to her. She starts to turn the kitchen faucet on and off. Chuckie hears the water running and feels that he needs to go, but as soon as the water stops, his urge vanishes. Angelica continues to play with the faucet, causing Chuckie to run back and forth in confusion until he cries. Angelica laughs at Chuckie, then tells him that potty training is what everybody has to do when they get older, else you won't never go to school or drive a car or join the army or none of that fun stuff. Still, Chuckie refuses, declaring that he's never going to use the potty again. That night, Chuckie has a nightmare in which he's locked up in a jail cell as a prisoner on a death row. Phil and Lil appear as guards, telling Chuckie that it's time to go and that the chair is waiting for Yas. Chuckie tells them that he's too young to go, but they ignore Chuckie and remove him from his cell. As they walk along, they pass numerous cells filled with grown men wearing nothing but diapers, who leer and snicker at Chuckie as he passes. Eventually, they reach Tommy, dressed as an Irish priest, who asks Chuckie if he has any last requests. Chuckie begs to not be made to go, but Tommy tells him to be brave for the little people. Cutting a very tiny Stu, Chaz, and Dee Dee are on their knees, like babies, silently watching. Chuckie reluctantly says he'll try, but as soon as they bring him to the chair, a giant toilet at the top of the stairs, Chuckie changes his mind and tries to escape. Phil and Lil force Chuckie onto the toilet, and when he begs for mercy, Angelica, dressed as an executioner, laughs at him and says, "Everybody's gotta go someday," before taking off her mask and flushing Chuckie down the toilet. Chuckie wakes up and feels very urgent to go. Miraculously, Chuckie gets out of the crib on his own, rushes to the bathroom, and sits on the potty just in time to successfully urinate in the potty. Stu is awakened by the noise and sleepily walks to the bathroom where he is thrilled to witness Chuckie successfully using the potty and calls for Dee Dee. Dee Dee rushes to the bathroom where Stu gladly explains what Chuckie just did. Dee Dee and Stu praise Chuckie for going to the bathroom using the potty on his own, but the celebration is cut short as a crying and humiliated Angelica shows up telling them that she had an accident, therefore receiving her comeuppance for teasing Chuckie. Dee Dee and Stu carry a still crying Angelica off to clean her up, calling for Tommy to walk over into the bathroom after watches the entire scene, even laughing at Angelica's predicament and congratulate Chuckie for using the potty. He repeats what Angelica had said earlier. Everybody who's anybody is potty trained. Chuckie happily declares that he's an anybody now. After being given a single Reptar doll, Phil and Lil begin to fight over it, and Betty decides to give the two some time apart. So she takes Lil to the Pickles house to play with Tommy and Chuckie, while Phil stays at home. Lil acts upset but claims she doesn't miss Phil. He's just a big old booger brain. She starts to cry though, revealing she in fact does want to be with him. Tommy tells her that if that is what she wants, that is what she'll get. Tommy, Chuckie, and Lil crawl out of the door and cross over to the DeVille's house, where Phil is, but in the process, Lil loses her bow in the yard. Meanwhile, Phil begins to miss Lil and sneaks out of the house to go to the Pickles after playing with his teddy bear named Bill. However, as he crosses the yard, finds Lil's missing bow and sees Spike sitting nearby. Thinking that Spike ate Lil, Phil grows upset, even asking Spike to eat him so he can be with Lil. But all Spike does is lick Phil's face and go inside. Phil follows and keeps Lil's bow close, pleading with Spike to throw Lil back up. Lil, Tommy, and Chuckie arrive at the DeVille's house. Lil runs to Phil, but he's nowhere to be found. Lil breaks down crying, missing her brother dearly. Betty comes and comforts Lil, thinking she is Phil due to her lack of bow. Betty then brings Lil to the Pickles house to reunite the twins, and Tommy and Chuckie, unseen by Betty, slip away to get back to the playpen at the Pickles before Betty, who managed to reach the playpen just as Betty returns with Lil. The boys find Phil, who grabs Chuckie's shirt and yells at Chuckie, asking what he did with Lil. Betty brings Phil to Phil. The twins happily hug, and the adults, please, leave for the kitchen. Phil and Lil tell each other how happy they are to see each other again and promise never to fight again. Phil blames Lil for starting it all, and the two start to fight all over again. Tommy and Chuckie shrug to each other, not knowing what to do.